Hello and welcome to this, the very first SlimDevOps live stream. I'm Martin and joining me is Pieter. How you doing, Pieter?
Hey, Martin, I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, I'm Pieter van Noorden. I lead growth at Slim.AI. Prior to this, I was a journalist and product manager. So fairly new to containers, so I'm excited about the show. I've been trying to learn a lot, reading a lot of O'Reilly books, talking to Martin a lot, learning more, but yeah, excited to be here. Martin, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I lead developer relations at Slim.AI. Previously, I was at Canonical leading the Ubuntu desktop team. I'm a long-time Linux nerd. A passion project of mine is maintaining a Linux distribution called Ubuntu Mate. But prior to sort of my departure into the devices world at Canonical, I'd been working in the sort of server and data center arena for many years prior to that. So I'm sort of returning back to sort of, big scale container management, container creation, and all of that stuff.
Cool.
So that's us. I think it would be good if we just explain who Slim.AI are and what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Slim.AI, we're a new startup focused in the cloud native development space. We were founded by two people, Kyle Quest and John Amaral, who have been working with cloud native apps for decades, building software together. Kyle is the brains behind the open source project DockerSlim. He kind of kicked that project off and that got that community going. And the focus there is really on optimizing, minifying, making Docker containers easier to work with, allowing you to X-ray them, and see inside of them so you can really build safe, secure, production-ready apps at scale. And Slim.AI, at Slim.AI, we're looking to expand that tool set, build on top of that, and create tools that make containerized workflows easier for developers. So that's who we are.
Right, and I'll just explain why we're going to be doing these live streams. So our goal is to help developers, and the goal of these live streams is to do precisely that as well, to help developers understand containerized applications and how to move them to the cloud as quickly and efficiently as possible. So right here we'll have a heavy focus on the what, the how, and the why, with a mix of live coding demos, tutorials and interviews from practitioners and experts. We'll also do some deep dives into individual container examples to help people get more familiar with containers and container technology built around the language ecosystems and frameworks that they're most familiar with. And we'll also answer your questions. If you do have questions as you're watching this now, then send them over in the chat and I'll answer them. Or if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, in the comments, or you can join our Discord, which we'll come to in just a moment. So these will be weekly. That's what we're planning at the moment, possibly on Thursdays or Fridays. We're anticipating to do one of these on Thursday, which will be the first outing of an actual show with some examples and some coding or some behind the scenes. And we'll then be posting highlights of that on our YouTube channel, which you'll find links to in the footer of the Slim.AI website, which you can see the URL for there. So also get subscribed to the YouTube site, so you'll also find some tutorials over there ready and waiting. So we've been thinking about calling this This Week in Containers. So we're not sure about that, so please tweet your show title suggestions to @SlimDevOps on Twitter.
Yeah, the This Week in Containers always reminds me of that Austin Powers bit about being in a nutshell, like, oh, how did I get in this nutshell, like, oh, how did I get in this container? But we're talking, of course, about Docker containers, not actual containers, but yeah, shoot us your ideas for a show name. Over at SlimDevOps.
So Pieter, you've also been working on some new articles over on the Slim.AI website, right?
Yeah. We've been hard at work developing some content. So yeah, this Slim.AI, the company launched back in August. And so since then, we've been really trying to fulfill this mission of, helping educate developers, both DevOps teams and application developers. We just hear from a lot of developers that like they know Docker and containerized workflows and cloud native workflows can really help them. They just don't really understand how. They don't know how to kind of like link everything together. And so we've been trying to build out on both in the form of blog posts and in the form of documentation, how-tos and tutorials, helping people out, through content. And so we're starting to add that content to the Slim.AI website. We also have things there like product updates and ways to sign up. We're going to go into a closed beta fairly soon for some of the web portal stuff that we've been working on for the products. So that's a place where you can sign up for that. And of course, there's always all kinds of goodies, swag and stickers and stuff like that, and updates that you can get there. So that's what we're up to at the Slim.AI website. And I think one of the examples that we're going to talk about here was what happens is we just get questions a lot from developers as we talk to them. And so one question that comes up a lot is sort of like, when we say slimming, what do we mean by slimming? How is that different than compressing? So we just put together a blog post and we talked to some people about it, and we teased out sort of the difference between slimming and compressing, and we put that article up there so people can go and check that out. But at a high level, when we talk about slimming, we're really talking about optimizing a container and taking steps in a very use case specific way and an app specific way to make your container run better, make it smaller, make it safer, and do that at every stage of the software development lifecycle. So that's a very prescriptive process, and we're building tools and technology to help with that, as compared to just compressing, which is really effectively the same thing as zipping a file, right? So you're just kind of making the image that comes out, or the container that comes out of the image, you're just making that smaller, and you use that to transport it across your different stages in the CI/CD, and that's an automated process that happens. It's built into a bunch of tools. So this type of article that we're putting up over there, so if people have questions or they want us to explore an article, or if there's something that they're really struggling with or have pain points on, and want us to get some of our kind of container experts to voice off on it, let us know, tweet at us in the show notes, shoot us an email, whatever the case may be. Let us know, and we'll get to work on some more content. So
yeah, excellent. That segues really nicely with what I'm interested in. So we're very keen to get some developer feedback. So this is your first bit of homework. We'd like to invite you to create a Slim container of an app of your own, or perhaps one that you really like. Everything that you need should be available from the DockerSlim GitHub repository. You can see the DockerSlim DockerSlim website just there, and there's a jumping off point to github.com/docker-slim. Plus those video tutorials on our YouTube channel, which you'll find in the footer of the website, URLs above my head there. So what we'd like you to do is create a container and slim it using DockerSlim, join our Discord and share your feedback. What worked for you? What issues did you run into? Have you got any questions as a result of doing this? And we'll then use that feedback to answer your questions and build some examples and tutorials on these live streams to sort of dig into what people are most interested in. And as those people who get on board early in this process, you'll be invited to early access for new features, and you'll also have the chance to earn yourself some swag by participating in these little games that we're going to be playing. Some of which we're not going to ask you to do anything, of course, but initially we're really interested to know how you get on with DockerSlim if it's your first time using it. So that sort of sets out our stall for what we're going to be doing here, and we are going to be back here around the same time on Thursday this week. So what have we got coming up in the next one, Peter?
Yeah, well, in addition to going into some of the tools and technology we've been talking about, we're hoping to have, we'll be having Kyle Quest and John Amaral, our two founders, on from Slim. Kyle's going to be speaking at the DevX conference in 2 weeks' time. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, do it. It's a virtual event. I think it's free to sign up. You just sign up through GitHub, and Kyle and a bunch of other great speakers are going to be there talking about what developer experience looks like. So if you go on our Twitter, you can find we've been posting about the DevX conference. We're a sponsor there, and so that should be exciting. So hopefully we'll be getting a preview from Kyle on what he's going to talk about there, and we'll also be talking some things about DockerSlim. He's been making a lot of updates. Based on some conversations going on in the Discord channel. So we'll get his insights on that.
Excellent. Thanks very much. And I'm always interested to know what language ecosystems are you interested in learning how to slim effectively? What frameworks are you using for your web apps? We can do deep dives into that. So let us know what you're using and what you're most interested in, and we can then use that to prioritize the tutorials and examples that we work on. And as I said earlier, join our Discord channel, link in the Slim.AI website footer to share that with us. Now, before we sign off, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's stopped by to this, our very first live stream. So hello, Yannick and Monica and Big Pod and hello, Rick. And also, I see the Unwise Geek has asked a question, and he says, all right, Martin, I'll do it. If I wanted to compare it to a traditional container, what metrics should I be looking at? So I think there are two things that are most important at this early stage if you're slimming your first container. The first is, does your slimmed container function the same as your unslimmed container? So that's the first metric of success. And then the second is, actually, how big is your slim container versus your original container? So those are the two things that we're really interested in. And do share your feedback. We'd love to hear how you get on. So I think that is, and Big Pod is interested in .NET. So that's an interesting one. We could definitely take a look at that. But please share some examples of what you'd like to look into exactly on that, Big Pod. That would be interesting. Big Pod goes on to say he has a problem with slimming. It's simply the fact that the containers are very hard to easily debug compared to standard container. Well, so take on this challenge, Big Pod. Let us know how you get on. You will find there are some tools in DockerSlim to help with that process. Let us know how that goes for you, and we can dig into that. Well, maybe we can put one of these together specifically around .NET. So with that, I think we'll wrap this up here and invite you to join us all on Thursday, where we'll do another one of these and we'll dig into some topics in a bit more detail. I'm Martin Wimpress. You can find me on Twitter at m_Wimpress.
I'm Pieter Van Orden. You can find me at PSVANN.
And we are SlimDevOps. So you can find us at SlimDevOps on Twitter. And this was possibly This Week in Containers, but let us know your suggestions. Tweet us what you think your show title should be. And with that, thank you all very much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.